Blighty Boxing with Frank Warren and Queensbury. A little bit overdue catch up with Marky Boy, Mark Chamberlain. Are we still on Marky Boy?
I don't know.
The bomb's gone, so no, Marky Boy came.
Dev called me the Shark, didn't he?
The Shark?
Mark the Shark.
Mark the Shark, okay.
Ryan the Piranha.
Yeah, so we got a shark and a piranha.
Yeah.
What are you
Whatever.
What's the MC going to call out next time?
I don't know, it changes every time. We've had the Bomb, Marky Boy. We ain't had the Shark yet. We might give that one a go next, who knows? Give
that one a go, Mark the Shark. The thing is, with you being in your own business, that don't give you a great look if you're called a shark.
No.
When you're in the construction business.
No.
So that might not be ideal.
Might clash.
Yeah. But anyway, how's your tree house? Is that still working all right?
Tree house. Yeah. Yeah, still going strong.
Still living up there?
Yeah, still in there. The wind ain't took it down just yet.
Good stuff. But seriously, we haven't spoken on camera since your last fight, Jordan Ellison. I bet you were laughing your head off watching Ryan Garner trying to take him out in a minute to try and beat you.
Do you know what? When they made the fight, they said, you're going to walk through him, it's too much of an easy opponent. And then they found someone else, and then that didn't come off. And then they found someone else, and then they went back to the drawing boards because it went like 2 weeks before the fight. And then they said, oh right, we'll just go with Jordan Ellison. So either way, I was up for it. And I thought I'm going to get a few rounds, or the 8. And yeah, it was punch perfect. I think if you watch the fight back, I sort of walked him down, then threw the shot. And it sunk in lovely, and then as Frank said, he was sat from, I don't know, 15 foot from the ring, and he said, he was on the floor squealing like a pig. So,
I'll say it's a good thing for you, because people do think you're a bit of a headhunter, don't they?
Yeah, what we've been working on in the gym is mixing it up, because the head moves, the body don't. So, like Wayne says, don't always go to the head, because these men have been boxing for years and they're conditioned to that. Obviously, don't get me wrong, you hit someone on the chin clean, they're going over, but they don't all go over. No. But like a body shot, you can't.
If you get that right, they ain't getting up, are they?
No, not at all. And it proves
you hit someone on the chin, they can have the 8 seconds and they might be all right. But then when you saw Garner get the same opponent, did you know that he'd be desperately trying to outdo what you did?
I don't know, to be honest, because I don't think Ryan's like that.
Oh, he was chasing it, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he caught him in this, I think it was the second round, and I thought he wobbled him a little bit, and I think he sort of let him off a little bit, and then, don't know, Jordan just kept getting stronger as the rounds went on, and don't get me wrong, Ryan done everything he had to do, he won the fight, but he didn't make it easy for him, did he? Look,
bit of a weight difference as well, wasn't there? So.
Whatever, yeah, I think he was about a stone heavier, but yeah.
But from your point of view, I mean, the only other person to have done Jordan in the first round, I think, is Zelfa Barrett. And he took a minute or so longer than you did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about a real high level of prospect to actually do that to someone like him.
If you know your boxing and whatever, a lot of people will say, yeah, he was a journeyman, but he was a tough journeyman. And if you look on BoxRec, the only people that have stopped him is the likes of Zelfa Barrett, Lewis Ritson. He fought John O'Carroll. He give John O'Carroll a good fight.
He gave Sam a good fight for 5 rounds.
He gave Sam a good fight, didn't he? Was it 5 or 6 rounds? But like I say, obviously, he can take a dig in the head. Proves that if Sam was bashing him up for 5 or 6 rounds, because he can hit, can't he?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that the ref stopped it, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, would you now like to, because obviously you get more currency out of fighting people who are 10-1, 9-1, you know, because that's what improves your ranking, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, you get a bit more credit for it. Would you like to go back onto that trail now?
Yeah, definitely, because I looked the other day, I think I've moved up to 9 now in Britain, so I mean, I've had 8 fights, so I'm ranked number 9. Yeah, I want to be in the big fights and the mix with the bigger names, but like Frank keeps saying, slow down. Obviously, I'm only 22. Have a couple more fights at the level I'm at, and then maybe look for something. But like Frank being my promoter, he's obviously got faith in me, and he just don't want to chuck me in the deep end.
No, I mean we've seen examples of it, haven't we? So where people might have jumped a couple of steps ahead, and it's that fighting big hard men, and that sometimes that can be.
Like I said to Frank a few times, I'll fight whoever they put in front of me. That's obviously a great attitude to have, but there's a time and there's a place for it. And he wants to take me up the ladder the slower way. Obviously, I'm 22 years old, and there's a.
I think there's already been some benefit, you know, because sometimes it's not all about the record, it's about the age.
Yeah.
You know, if you can fight people who are good, but the ones who are closer to your own age, I think that sort of levels it up a bit, because there's less chance of getting old man, isn't there?
Well, I think I'm the youngest in, like, obviously I ranked number 9. I think I'm probably one of the youngest in the top 20, top 25. When I last looked anyway, I was the youngest. Yeah. Like I said, I'm 22, and them boys have been there and done it, and
I mean,
what have you, 30 years old, 25.
So what you say, you're 9, is it now? 8, 9?
I've had 8 fights.
8. So, I mean, at least sort of maybe get to 12, you know, and then sort of get that under your belt, because, I mean, one thing, you have had a good lockdown, haven't you? Or a good, if you can have a good pandemic,
well, I had 3 fights in the lockdown, didn't I?
Yeah.
And obviously I'm grateful for that, and
you're going to be gutted when you've got to go out and start selling tickets again, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean, we're lucky that we could even fight in the lockdown, not have to sell any tickets. But yeah, I can't wait to get back to selling tickets, because I think I can sell a lot more tickets now. Yeah.
Do you think your sort of profile or whatever has sort of increased around the sort of South Coast, Pompey way and all that, or Waterlooville?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm even going to jobs now, and like the older generation of people will say, oh, I recognise your face from somewhere, and then you'd say, oh, it might be on the telly, it might be something to do with boxing, and they go, do you know what, yeah, it rings a bell now. And
the local paper's giving you a bit as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they're always in contact. Always wanting to do bits. I get messages left, right and centre of people wanting to come down the gym and do interviews, and even sponsorships. I mean, you look at my t-shirts, well, I haven't got one on now, but I've got sponsors from up here down to here, and I haven't got room for none. So
that hasn't always been the way, has it?
No.
I mean, is that not the upside of being a TV fighter, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because obviously people want to get their logos out there and see them on telly, and obviously your sponsorship is the main part in boxing. Hopefully in a minute I can get a main sponsor and I can give up working and concentrate on this full time.
Could you survive without plastering for a living?
Yeah.
You'd be a bit lost without doing that?
I would get bored, yeah, because I can't sit still, if you know what I mean. I wouldn't know what to do with myself, but obviously I'm getting up and going for a run before work, and I'm done at 12, 1, 2 at the latest, and then I'm coming here. So
it'd be good if you could maybe be a little bit more selective, isn't it? Maybe just work when you want to work, sort of thing.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to, like, I know it don't happen overnight, but I'd like to build up my own little company and have a few blokes work for me, or at least 1 or 2, and
just do the paperwork.
And that way, but sometimes it's more than a headache than it's worth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose there could be the stress levels might go up a bit, but longer term it's got to be a good goal for you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It'd be something to think about in the long run, for sure.
So what are we looking at, back end of June?
They said end of June, first week of July, so I mean, I'm in the gym ticking over. The minute we get that call, I know it's not going to be you're fighting in 2 weeks time, but if they say you're fighting in 4 or 5 weeks time, I'm going to be ready. So
do you have time off and a bit of a holiday after the last one, or?
I wish I could go on holiday, you know.
Of course, yeah. I forgot about that.
I think I went on holiday last July and that was it. After a fight, most boxers like to get away, don't they? But you can't because of COVID and whatever.
You've got your tree house and the dogs.
Yeah.
Any more puppies on the way?
Not yet. I think my dog, she's due in season in the next month or so there could be some on the way. Nice stuff.
All these boxers are getting into their dogs at the moment, aren't they?
Tell you what, it's a
way
forward.
Edwards is getting his pictured, and everybody all seem to have them. Yeah. I think that just about covers it, Mark. Brings us up to date.
Yeah.
Well done on your last fight. Everyone's getting very excited about you now. People are starting to really talk about you.
I think I've worked for it though, don't you?
Yeah.
8 fights.
And I think one other thing people like to see, and I know sort of boxing fans like to make out with their purists and all that and other sport, but everyone loves a knockout and a puncher.
Yeah.
You must know that.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. And when you see it and you see a fight starting, you know, but you got to keep watching, because you turn away, bang, you missed it.
Don't get me wrong, I'd like to do 3, 4, 5 rounds, not 1 minute. All that hard work, early mornings. And
I've seen you have the raging ump by going into 4 rounds or being taken a distance, so don't tell me you don't want 1 minute.
Couple of rounds and then you're into the fight, isn't it?
I remember seeing you at York Hall after you took the distance, and you had a face like a smacked arse after the fight. So don't be giving me that.
He was tough, and all he broke my knuckle, he did, that Spanish fella.
Yeah. So don't be giving this you want 5 rounds and all that, because I know you're not telling the truth. Mark, well done, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.